Hello and welcome back to Thursday Morning with LindaZ. We are back for another episode and welcome back. Today I wanted to discuss, because we all have so much time on our hands, don't we? Ha ha, laugh, laugh. That we want to be able to sometimes repair some of our garments that we notice are just annoying us a little bit. Like, for example, this lovely jean denim shirt that I have that I love, actually. I love this shirt. And the buttonhole here on this one cuff is just too wide. It's just too big. So the button always pops off. And it really annoys me, right? So let's fix it.
Hi, sewing friends. It's Linda here with a cup of coffee. I hope you have one too. The wonderful thing about this channel is that it's a tribute to sewing, quilting, and embroidery. We showcase an array of machines that will fit every project that you can even imagine. Do you enjoy our content? Well, then please lend us your support with a subscription, a like, a comment, positive comments. We love hearing from you. For product inquiries, just LindaZ.com. It's always open. We have a dedicated sales staff that look forward to helping you make the right choice with your future machine needs. And let's embark on today's sewing journey.
All I have to do is put a zigzag a little bit closer into the buttonhole and it's fixed, right? But there's not just that on this garment that needs fixing, unfortunately. I do have on the other cuff an issue as well. Basically, this piece of reinforcement in the slit of the sleeve has torn a little bit. It's ripped out. So I'm gonna have to fix that too. Let's go over to the machine for the first, easiest one. Let's do easy first, shall we? Let's get this buttonhole, this zip buttonhole closed a little bit more. So we come over here to our handy dandy Bernina 770, and right now it's set at a straight stitch, but I am going to choose a zigzag, which is my number 2 stitch. And I would like to close this guy up from the top down. So I'm going to take it on the inside and I am going to try and find exactly where that is on there with the needle and bring the needle down. Actually, you know what? I am going to go with a different foot than I have on here right now. So I'm going to take a 20 open toe so I can actually see what's going on in there. So here I've got my 20C, and so now you can see here in the machine that I can just see really well where my needle's going to go down. And when I bring that foot down, all I have to do then is bring the needle down. And if you can see that there, that is perfect where it is. So I am just going to do my zigzag. I'm going to take one zigzag and see if it's the right width. Oh, that's a perfect width at 3.6. Perfect width. So I am going to reinforce that. Just go back and forward, backwards a little bit. And now I'm going to go forward. So I'm just bringing this buttonhole in a little bit closer to the button. So now my button is not going to, I think I'm done with that now. So let me just reinforce that guy a little bit and then scissor cut. And I can pull that out and just test it now. So I'll bring my button in there. And is that guy gonna pop anytime soon? Potentially. So why don't we go ahead and just go a little bit farther. And I actually want to be on the right side this time, so that my right side has that pretty satin. Let's just go in a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to reinforce that, go back a little bit, and scissor cut. Okay, and then let's put our button in there again. Oh, this is great. Oh, I can't wait to put this on now. This is not popping anytime soon, guys. This is great. I've now held my buttonhole perfectly closed and nothing is popping out anymore. So isn't that great? All right, so now that we've done the easy, we've got to try and do the hard here, which is a little bit harder, not quite that much harder, but, and Ideally, I would have on the back side here a piece of, ideally, let's take this button off. So we're going to remove this button. And I do have a trick to sewing on buttons, but it's called hand sewing. And I know others do prefer to sew buttons on with machines, but it's, to me, using a hand needle is a calming experience. And so I do not mind sewing my buttons on by hand. And I do have a trick to show you there. So I would potentially like to have either opened this seam completely, which we could do actually, but what I want to do is make sure that all that fringe disappears. And I want to maybe do a zigzag. So I could use a darning foot, I suppose, but I can just, for today's purposes, stitch right over that. So I found the right color thread, but now I'm just realizing they're close enough for government work, right? But I decided I'm going to actually try to remove this seam that holds this binding in place. And I'm going to, so I'm going to pull this out with my seam ripper, and then I'm going to try and tuck this piece in. And there may be a little bit of a gathering here after I've pulled in to beyond where that fringe is too loose to tack it down. Okay, so I've opened up that seam. I've opened up the binding here, and what I'd like to do is trim away some of these excess threads. So that's part of the weave that came away from the piece there, and I'm gonna trim some of this fringe away also so that I can tuck in more into this binding. It'll be easier to tuck it in once this fringe has disappeared. So let me go ahead and trim away the excess fringe and then get some of this other part of the weave pulled away, trimmed away also. So got that. Let's get some of this fringe trimmed away, giving it a haircut. Okay, so then we're going to try and tuck this in to that binding again. Ideally, I'm going to pin it because it does want to pull away. So let's get that guy in there. As close to the fold inside as possible, I'm going to do that. And then as we get closer to the edge, it's going to be a little bit harder to do because I'm not going to open up the cuff. So there's going to be a little bit of a, but that's okay for me to have a little bit of a bulge there. Okay, so that's pinned down. Get rid of all this thread. And I'm going to go to a straight stitch. I'm going to bring back my 1D foot. And I'm going to stitch right down so I can start stitching there. Pull out my first pin as I get there. I'm going to make my stitch length a little bit shorter. It's like a 2.2 maybe. Pull out my pin as I go. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just going along that line as closely as possible. And then I will reinforce that. And I might just go over it one more time because I really don't want that to happen again on my pretty little cuff. So that's looking very good so far, but I do want to just do that one more time. Go right straight down that same line. I feel much more confident this time. How funny that is, right? After it's been tacked down once, I feel way more confident than I did the first time. All right, so now that looks great. And you know what? I'm going to save the putting the button back on tricks for the next video, because I think we've already saved my shirt together. Thank you so much for joining me on this project of saving my shirt together with me. And look at that. No more fringe, no more flappiness. All we have to do is sew back on the button that was there. And I'll show you how to do that next time. How's that sound? Thank you for joining us on another Thursday morning with LindaZ. Oh, this was my dress from the last time, guys. I forgot to tell you that. This was my dress from the last time, and I've got my handy dandy wallet in there to go shopping. So if I am out at the market, I can just like have my wallet, and in the 100 degrees summer dress, right? I can go shopping. So have a wonderful day. Bye.